You know, I did some research really quick. Do you know there are over 70,000 books on management and leadership alone? Over 70,000. That doesn't even include like self-help books, okay? And when you go through some of these books, they all have a lot of different themes and nuances, but there's a lot of similarities, a lot of disconnects. But I thought about a good friend of mine, Pastor Coleman. His father had something he used to say to us all the time. Experience is the best teacher, but wisdom is learning from someone else's experience. Great leaders, and some of the leaders I know, agonize over getting the people right. Because they figure without people, nothing happens. Products don't get developed, service is not delivered. Nothing happens without people. But getting the people element, we talked about, when I listened to all the core commitments and things we're talking about as we bring people into this company, helping identify who is the next CMC, who is the next RM, who is the next BVP, who is the next MVP, who is the next RGM, and understanding our people and how we put them on a path to those destinations of leadership. One of my favorite mentors was this guy named Joe Jankowski. Now, when I was 14, I grew up in North Philadelphia, and one of the best things that could happen to me, I didn't say this then, one of the best things that could happen to me one day is my mom said no. I had asked my mother, I said, you know, I am going to be the next DJ Jazzy Jeff. It is clear to me that I will be the next DJ Jazzy Jeff. And my mom said, I've watched you do tons of hobbies and things. I'm not funding your next hobby. I said, no, this is different. You don't understand. Rap music is on the rise. This is a new era. I need two Technique 1200 turntables. Like you don't understand. Okay, anybody in the room familiar with music, like at that time, a Technique 1200 turntable was the gold standard, right? Mom, you have to. And I need, by the way, a keyboard and some other stuff, do some recording in the basement. She said, absolutely not. So I used to go to the Boys and Girls Club, and they had this job program during the summer. Now, I wanted to play basketball and go to the pool and everything in the summer like everybody else. Instead, I had to take this job. They give out the job slips at the thing. Everybody's getting jobs at the pool, lifeguard. I'm last in line. I get the job at the hardware store. The hardware store, okay? I have to go meet this guy named Joe Jankowski. I walk into the hardware store. Joe sits me down, I'm gonna teach you how to make keys, fix screens, fix windows. I am ready to puke. My friends are running by the front of the store waving, bouncing the ball on the way to the basketball court. It was a remarkable experience because Joe, unknown to me, was like common day MacGyver. Joe could fix anything. So we advertised that we cut keys, fix screens, fix windows, did plumbing. Joe taught me how to do everything from soldering to inventory to installing security systems, sent me to people's house to do plumbing. People would come in with a broken clock, and I would go, no, we don't do that. Joe would yell from the back, yeah, bring it here. Bring it back. And I'd be like, no, Joe, we don't do that. Bring it back. And he'd take the clock apart and he'd look at the gears. But what Joe was teaching me was he believed his sole purpose was to help people with their common problems in their home. By 16 years old, Joe promoted me to be the assistant manager of the store. I opened and closed the store on Saturdays. I worked after school. And I did this until I was about 19 years old. Joe let me run that store. I mean, to this day, I cannot thank Joe enough for depositing into my life. This man taught me how to run a business before I was 19 years old and had no other reason to besides I showed up, to Dave's point, showed up. But I would say Joe identified talent. He saw something in me that I probably didn't even see in myself. And I think about this company and some of the things we do best. When you think about people who can join Legal Shield, who do join Legal Shield, I think about John Hoffman often saying, cast a wide net. The profile of some of the folks coming in, most of the folks coming in, don't look like the profile you might expect corporately for somebody to reach the highest ranks in the organization. Is that not the beauty of this company? I didn't look like the profile. Little known secret, I didn't get my bachelor's degree until I was 34 years old. But she pushed me through it because she believed I could do it. She had already asked me a number of times, I turned it down, but she was resolute enough to say, I think this guy has more to offer, and I'm gonna help push him through it. The interesting thing about Jen, when she retired from JP Morgan Chase, the day she left, she hugged me, and I went to the men's room, and she came back in my office, and she left this on my office. This is over 10 years ago. And it says, what would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail? Leaders continuously broaden the capabilities of the organization by broadening the people. Leaders assess, adapt, and repivot. When people become comfortable with assessing, adapting, and repivoting, going, you know what, we said we would do this, but let's be honest, that's not working the way we intended to. What do we need to do differently? That's a quality that a leader has to be the drum major and live that out and show people.